Hey guys, this is Resonant, and I want to do a project breakdown of my song Far off my new album that just dropped. And this is one of my favorite ones, both production wise and just in the lyrics. And I was hoping to give you guys an inside look into how I set everything up, and hopefully, you guys have a great respect for the song, lyric wise, and what I did in the project to make it sound the way it does. And the idea started actually when I was in the shower and I was singing, and I didn't really have any like lyrics, but I heard this like piano melody. So I got out the shower really quick and I went to the piano and I played this simple two section melody. And this is so that was the simple melody, and then all I did was compression, EQ, lots of reverb. I did a massive tape delay just to give it some size, and then I did like a chroma glow, taking like the dry piano. And actually to start out the song, what I did is I the last hit right here, and then I had it reversed, and then I got like a little, I guess like a harmonic from like this section here of the piano, and I reversed that, and then I did I took a vocal sample thing that I did like through my phone. I reversed it and I did a bunch of like filters and the tremolo, and this beginning section sounds like so. That was interesting. Um, Harmonic sounds. Um, and then after that, I guess we can get right into the bass. And the bass is just a DI bass guitar, and just like on Far, he's mainly playing like one throughout the entire song with some really cool fills in, and this is what it sounds like. I think, yeah, Charlie played this one. He's a talented um, bassist, and I like to use him whenever I need actual. We mixed the bass in another project. All we really had was in bass amp emulation, some EQ just to bring out the lows, and we did a little bit of a drive, and that was about it. Um, and then uh, during like the chorus part, we had him speed it up to like a note on every single beat. So he sped it up really fast. We went from this to this. Just He was really ripping it on. But yeah, I wanted to have this like galloping feeling and like rhythm and drive throughout the, especially this part of like the chorus. The chorus felt like it needed to kind of push and have a lot um like stress and build into that final like instrumental kind of thing and then into the, so, and the bass is usually the best instrument to have a drive on instrument. And then I guess after I did the piano, I did some like high piano hits. I think using the same piano process. I just put a lot of tremolo on it so that each hit was different field, and then I just did a bunch of tape delay, um, and then just put on a bunch of reverb because those hits need to have just a lot of space. Um, and then to start on the drums, I just took like a snare sample hit, and it sounds. I think I just muddied up the sound, and then put some space on it because I wanted it to be just like a gated snare sound that has kind of that reverb kind of like the main sound. Uh, this was sounds like. And then in the synth section to start, I just have this pad that I put a massive tremolo on so that has some movement in the background. And I just did like a synth plug lead along with this one. Yeah, so it's just some extra motion kind of sitting in there. And usually pads are just one note kind of do, but I wanted this whole song to have some sort of rhythm and melody throughout it that kind of kept the song driving. So that really helped with that. Um, Getting into the big section, the chorus, what I did on the bass is we added a synth bass. I think it's the 70s pitch bass, and just did like an EQ on it. It had this natural like motion to the sound, and because a bass guitar is just so plucky, especially with a pick, um, the one of this was just a constant motion of bass going through, so it felt like the low end was really growing, and then these two together sounds like. And it's really nice how you can feel the drive of the bass guitar, but the synth bass is providing that constant low. And then I also did a bass riser, a single note from um, like a bass guitar loop on Logic, and then I just reversed it, and then I did some like fade in stuff on it, so that it kind of just came in as a, and then like went away. And I just put a filter, tremolo, and then I took out all of the highs and then boosted a lot of the lows, so you could through. And that was a good addition as we as you get into the chorus to have like a little riser like that coming through. This is what it sounds like with no process. Oh, I think I know. I took like a acoustic slide guitar loop on lock, and I just pitched it down. Okay, that makes sense. Let me show you what it sounds like without the reverse. Yeah, I made this one so long ago. It's funny. So you get into that. And then to round out the bass section, I had Charlie record um, some like single low note the electric guitar, and then I pitched them down a little bit, and then I did a EQ, and this is what they sounded like, and I just bounced them left and right. So the whole bass section together sounds really weird, but it really just fits in the song. Um, that's the whole bass section, and then we get to here, and we have a distorted ukulele strum with some side chain on the kicks. The kick is hitting on every beat, so I wanted the ukulele to bounce in like a Phoebe Bridgers, and I put a Candy Fuzz distortion pedal and a blue echo on it. And also, as you can see, it is on beat but off beat with the measure. So I wanted to hit on like the downbeat. It fits really nicely in the track. This is what it sounds like without any process. Um, and then I took a electric guitar like loop chop. I did. So for that, it was mainly just to get like the again just the drive of like something constantly and and then for the piano, nothing really changes except the plugs come out. And then for the drums, I had a idea to have a kick crash thing going where it hits on every hit of the piano as it's going, and then just have the kick driving. So I had Charlie do it for me, and this would sound like. I just had him do a couple fills, and then I kind of just I did the snare alone and then the crash alone. I could have some control. And then for the crash, all I did was some reverb. And for the snare, we mixed this in another project, but all I had was some clip distortion, some compression, and then an EQ. And then, yeah, for the kick, um, I just did some EQ and compression, and then some chroma glow. That gives it a nice little thump to it. Gives it some thickness, and then on the bus EQ, I'm just taking out a lot of low end so that it's not overwhelming. And then for the synths, I did some Mellotron chords and I just wanted some like dirtiness, and some grit underlying the whole song. And I just did like a fuzz synth that was kind of growing and building, and you can see, especially like in the final song, that's growing and it's building, and then it goes all the way back and then like break, and it's really cool. Let me show you with the whole song. I don't know why it's glitching out so bad. um yeah, so let me just show you again so you can hear. You're gonna go far. Um, and then I just have this synth melody going. Um, so that's it for the synths, and then going up to the vocals, we I recorded I recorded the bridge vocals, and then I was trying to find a way to make it like spicier or like a little bit different. So I put the guitar pedal on my. It sounds like this. Um, and then I just put a stereo delay, and then I put tremolo, so it's really bouncing from ear to ear on the delay, and then just put all these on, and it sounds like this. Um, and then kind of coming out of the bridge part, I added some trumpets just from Logic, or and then I just put some like clip distortion and some reverb. So I think I added that while we were mixing the album, and I just felt like something was missing, and I was looking for a synth, and then I just came across the trumpets. And I was like, let's see how it works, and I played like some melody that kind of matched the song's chorus, and ended up sounding really nice. I really like the horns. I feel like they bring it to life. Um, and then coming into the second verse, I just have like two, or one like synth thing going. Sounds like this. like the way that like as the song progresses and as like the vocal kind of like pause and you can hear some of the synths kind of poke out of the mix and then kind of like go back under and it just adds this nice little ear candy and shows that like the song is growing. And then I have the horns going throughout the entire second verse too, and then they never come back. Um, and then other than that, um, the drums for this part, I have a snare sample going on top of the kick, and then I have that one panned left, and then I got this like air snare like 80s sample, and then I just like faded it out. I just wanted to hear like the reverb of the snare, and then I panned that left, so you have this cool thing where you can feel like the reverb kind of separated, and it sounds like. And they're not lined up exactly, so as it hits, this goes. So that's just a cool little like ear candy thing that doesn't draw attention to the song, and then it kind of returns this little part. So and other than that, like that's basically the whole production of the song. Nothing like super dense or complicated. It was just a lot of those little ear candies and the driving force of the song as they keep going, and those kind of add up to this production that just feels very alive and breathing. Though there aren't a lot of tracks. I only had 45 tracks, which is a lot. I mean, I have songs album that have 60, 70 tracks, so I can. I don't know why it keeps freezing up on me. um I'll play like the whole song all the way through, and I'll show you the lyrics, uh, and then that's it. Where'd you go? How's the city? Is it the same? Do they know me? You said you'd go anyway. You were too good for us. By the way, you're gonna go far, far away. You to the stars to show your face. You're gonna go far. You're gonna go far.
to death. You forgot my name. If you remember, don't say it. Just know that I'm here. That I'm flailing like a fish out of water, sitting outside his tank. And I miss you, babe. I miss you, babe. I miss you, babe. Still can't stand your name. My family has one for you. I loved you the most. Did you know that I loved you? 'Cause I miss you, babe. And the warmth of your touch made me a better man. And I missed you too much. 'Cause I missed you, babe. 'Cause I missed you, babe.
So yeah, that's the song. I'm really proud of it. It's one of my favorites on the album. Um, and it's just a really good song, really good lyrics, good production, and anytime those two can go together, my vocals don't sound completely awful there, so that's all. Um, but yeah, so I guess the takeaway for this song is just if you have multiple layers working together, it doesn't matter how many tracks it is, it matters what the tracks are doing, you know? People back in the 80s and 90s used to record on 8 track, 16 track tape, and they would have those few tracks to make an entire song. And now we can use as many tracks as we want. We can go up to 100, 200. Um, but the music philosophy is still the same, that if you have a few tracks that work together really nice and that accomplish their goal in the song, um, you still have a full production that sounds, big and alive. And you don't need a bunch of tracks to do that. I had a driving bass, I had some driving electric guitar hits, I had some horns, I had some synths, started doing some chords, and I had some ear candy, and that's really all I had. You know, a lot of the tracks in this song are all of my vocal layers. Um, and minus that, I have, under 30 tracks. Just, apply that to your production. Just, cut the fat and just make the song as tight and as cohesive as it can be. And then, I don't know if I've shown you guys the mastering chain for my album. This is it. I really simplified things from the first album to really just really clean things up. And all I'm doing is in EQ that mostly takes care of the low end, making sure that everything's taken care of, nothing's muddy. I had some stuff here, um, but I think it was just adding too much brightness. And then I just do the platinum analog tape, and I don't touch any of the settings. It sounds really nice, brings out the clarity, gives it the punch, but just make sure everything's level. Um, and then just do one limiter, do the mastering assistant, and on the mastering assistant, I usually add 3 dB of lows and take out 5 dB of highs just to make sure that the production is balanced from low to high. Sure, it's dark, but it's clear. Um, and then just add another limiter, and then do an adaptive limiter. And usually I do about 2.5 to 3 dB of gain, and then just do a 0.3 ceiling just to make sure that all the hits, that any hit that gets by the compressor and the first two limiters doesn't poke through. Just making sure that's clean, and then just the loudness meter to make sure it's on par with industry standard. And that's it. And then showing you guys the vocal chain. It's just a noise gate because my mic was being really fuzzy on background noise on this track, and I couldn't fix it. So I just did noise gate, channel EQ with the basic stuff, compressor, de-esser, chroma glow, just doing a little bit of adding some character, some saturation, and then just do a second EQ just to add in a lot of the brightness that I lose in some of the processing. And then just do the basic space D default, and then doing the stereo delay with the tremolo. And that's about it. I do all of my vocal tracks on stereo and then just pan them accordingly because I just feel like it gives a wider sound for the sit in. And then for like my bigger layers of tracks, I just did a center double down the middle that was just doubling this, and then I did a double far right, far left, and then two more doubles going like right here, just to give more width, and then doing some reverb doubles, which I like to do just to add a little bit like a automation, I guess. And then this reverb one, which has the same amount of reverb, but it has a bunch of distortion on it, so it just gives that nice like gritty texture to the vocal. This is what it sounds like. Let me show you another one. And I did this little ad lib thing here. Oh, here. That was really nice. I like that one. And I didn't do any pitch correction on the vocals except for whatever I can do in the in this page with the pitch editing. But other than that, no actual pitch correction. So this is the track. I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys like the album. Definitely comment below what you think of the album so far. I know it's only been a couple days, and I've been really busy, especially this weekend. But I'm hoping to do a reaction to the album soon, and really be able to go in depth and break down all of the tracks and some of the production stuff, some of the lyrics you might have missed, and you guys enjoy that. So, bye.